Welcome to Talk About Coaching with us, Sherry Boone and Jamie Tenzer. We spend our days talking about coaching as we train and mentor coaches, and we've been doing this for over 20 years. We even talk about coaching when we're just chatting with each other. So we thought, why not record our chats and share them with you? Our goal is to share our expertise to help you on your journey to become a better coach. And we'll share ideas that you can take and try on to see if they work for you. We hope you'll find value, and if there's a topic you'd like us to talk about, please let us know. We can be reached at coachcachet.com. That's CoachCachet.com. We hope you'll enjoy today's Talk About Coaching. Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Talk About Coaching. How are you today, Jamie?
I'm doing great. So happy to be here to talk about coaching with you.
I'm happy to be here too. So today we decided to talk about the competency number 3, establish and maintains agreements. And the pieces we want to talk about today are 3.7 and 3.9. So 3.7 is partners with the client to define what the client believes they need to address or resolve to achieve what they want to accomplish in the session. And then 3.9 is partners with the client to manage the time and focus of the session. So where should we start with those, Jamie? What do you think?
Well, I think they do go together, because 3.9, partners with the client to manage the time and focus of the session. It's really about taking the agreement and extending it out a little bit so that you really take your time with the agreement and figuring out what the client wants to take away, what makes it important, but then also checking in about that, noticing if something changes and circling back around. So I feel like it's something that this brings up is that sometimes our mentees or my mentees will feel like setting the agreement just feels like checking the boxes, and they need to do that, in order to get to the coaching. And maybe these two competencies address that a little bit. What do you think?
I think so. Yeah. I always, always talk about that also. The fact that when someone talks about, the client comes on and they're mentioning what they want to discuss today, and then the coach is asking the client, what do you want to have for an outcome, and how will you know you have something great at the end of the session? And then the client keeps talking, but as they're talking, things might change as they continue to explore their topic, what they're talking about. And so it's important for the coach to really be aware of that, and then be willing to go back in and check in and say, so then around that, what is it that you would like to be thinking about, or, what outcome would you like for today? So like you said, things can change, and to have that flexibility to be really following your client and be willing to go back in and check in throughout the session, so that you're not just checking a box. Okay, you want to get this? Okay, there's your goal for the session, but rather to be very flexible and fluid. That's what I think about that part. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And as I'm reading this 3.7, I'm looking at partners with the client to define what the client believes they need to address or resolve. So, when we set the agreement and it's clear what the client wants at the end, then there's that invitation. Okay, now we know where we're going or where you want to end up, but there's so many paths to get there, and really giving it back to the client to choose what path they want to take. And the path may change because the end result might change in the client's mind as we move forward, which is what you're talking about. So really checking in, making sure, do you still want to stay on this path that you're on, or would you like to choose a different path, throughout the session, I think makes it a really dynamic kind of experience,
Mhm.
for the client.
Right. You just said that all so much more eloquently than I did. So thank you.
Oh, I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, you did. So that was so very nice. Yeah, I think this, yeah, exactly, exactly. It's just, it really, and part of this 3.7 also that it starts with partners with. All of these, so many of these under this competency number 3 start with that, partners with the client. So I think that is so important as we're thinking about coaching and working with our mentees, right? That this
Mhm.
whole idea of partnering with the client to really figure out, yeah, what's important here? What do you want by the end? And then, yeah, partners with them throughout the whole session, not just at the beginning to set the goals and the agreement. Yeah.
The other thing is to find our own ways to language
Mm,
setting the agreement. So there,
yeah.
we learn these processes of ask this question and that question, but there are a million ways to get to what would you like to take away and what makes it important for you. And as coaches get more comfortable, in the beginning, you are kind of using the framework that you're taught maybe, but then, put it in your own words, find other ways to get there. And that also can help with making it feel less formulaic as you
Mhm.
go along.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's so true. Yeah. And also this whole then bringing back in the 3.9 partners with the client to manage the time and focus of the session. So it's not just the time, but it's also the focus. And that's a distinct competency here. This is a distinct subpoint under this competency. That what does that look like to make sure that both parties are sure of the time, but also have a good idea of the focus, and how do you check back in with your client and really stay in touch throughout the session to make sure that the focus is clear,
Mhm.
um, and the client's going to come out with something valuable at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm. Okay.
All right.
And anything else on this one then for
I
now?
don't I don't think so, not for now. If we
Okay.
think of anything else, we'll just come back in.
Perfect. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
We hope you're taking away a nugget or two that you want to try on as you coach your magnificent clients. As always, we invite your comments at coachcachet.com. Once again, that's COACHCACHET.com.